Back in 1975, my parents bought this 1955 Plymouth for my sister and me to drive to high school. With the two-tone paint, all the chrome, and the shape, it really stood out from the cars of that time. And I remember the paint being oxidized, but we put wax on it and it looked better. I also remember the first time I turned the radio on, there was this loud buzzing sound from inside the dash. That's because it had a tube radio. This car only had 36,000 miles on it when my parents got it, and it ran like new. I was captivated by this car from the very start. "A car for the young at heart" was the slogan Plymouth was using to sell these cars when they were new. Several years later, the car was involved in a minor accident, and what should have been a routine repair ended up with the car being pretty much destroyed by a body shop. Then, because of my complete ignorance of car restoration, I started a restoration project that never should have been started. Things were going so badly at one point I nearly threw in the towel. But I'm glad I didn't, because through the process I learned a lot about these old cars, and now I have a neat car to drive around. The previous owner of my car was Adolf Vietz. I'm assuming he bought the car new, as he was a Plymouth dealer at the time the car was made. His dealership was located at 322 East Avenue in Lawton, Oklahoma. The car came with a V8, backup lights, and an automatic transmission. At one point, he stopped driving, and it sat parked in his garage for many years. He left the door open so the dogs could sleep in it, which left the seat covers in bad shape. I lived in a small town in Kansas, and they had built a new high school on the opposite side of town from where we lived. We could not take the bus, so my parents decided to get a car so my sister and I didn't have to walk. My grandmother was a neighbor and good friend of Mr. Vietz and knew about the car. My parents bought it from his estate for $300, and my grandmother drove it up to Kansas. The year was 1975. Here's a picture of the car when it was in Kansas. You can see it was in pretty good shape. Eventually the car was in a minor accident, but the driver's side door was badly damaged. I tried to get my dad to sell me the car, but he liked it too and wouldn't let it go. On the recommendation of an insurance agent, he found a body shop that would not only repair the damage, but also fix the rust and repaint it. "He's slow but good," the agent said, so they sent the car to the body shop. One day my mom told me someone had spotted the car abandoned in an empty field. Apparently the car was too much work and the rent hadn't been paid, so the building owner just pushed it out into an empty field. The driver's side door was lying on the ground, and rain had been pouring into the car. Rust was everywhere on the outside of the car. It did not even look like the same car of just a few years earlier. When my dad saw it, he said I could have it for free. The first body shop I took it to pronounced it a worthless piece of junk, but not in exactly those words. They were politely trying to give me good advice, but I did not listen. I did eventually find Gary's body shop in St. Joseph that painted older cars and Corvettes. He agreed to take on the lost cause. It took him a year to get the car painted, and he forgot that I wanted it painted in the original 1950s colors. It's a little brighter than what I wanted, but the paint is still holding up after 35 years. Unfortunately, much of the stainless trim was missing or damaged from the first body shop. The inside suffered water damage everywhere, so the whole interior had to be redone. Baumgartner Upholstery was run by a guy I knew from high school, and he did a remarkable job on the interior. I recently changed the door panels back to original, but the interior has held up well for 35 years. After I got the engine started, there was another big problem. The engine was smoking badly, and it had lots of valve clatter, so the engine was ruined at the body shop too. After having the car towed to where I lived, I took the engine out and took it to a local machine shop. The engine has run without mechanical issues for the last 34 years, so they must have done a good job. But I am puzzled as to why the compression and vacuum were never within the specs in my service manual. You would think there would be nothing to do after farming out the interior, the painting, and the engine, but that's not true. I have spent years finding missing pieces, having rusty parts re-chromed, in addition to fixing brake, carburetor, wiring, and other things that wear out over time. I took it to car shows all the time I was working on it, but I always felt that it was inferior to the other cars. Every year I would improve something cosmetic on the vehicle. New trim, polishing trim, new hubcaps, a little paint here and there. And then one day I changed my mind. I really like it now.